I'm going to walk you through the new initiative that we're launching at the moment. And as always, let's just go through the usual disclaimer. Anything I say is meant for educational and illustrative purposes only. It's not go out there and buy and sell and buy the S&P or sell the euro. It's purely educational. And today we're launching a new initiative, and that's what we're going to be talking about. So for those of you who don't know me, obviously I'm a little bit bored talking about myself. The only thing that seems to be changing here is the years as professional trader. So at the moment I'm counting 23 years. So I started in 92, it's 2015. I've been trading for 23 years. I started at Goldman Sachs as a market maker, providing liquidity to buyers and sellers. Whatever they wanted to do, I had to do the opposite. Obviously pretty frustrating. So then I went to GLG 10 years later, where I could actually do what I wanted to do myself. I thought it was also fun to be creative on top of everything else. So I came up with this idea for a TV program, $1 Million Traders. You can see this on YouTube. Over there, I taught 8 people who'd never traded before. After 2 weeks of training, they traded for 8 weeks and did better than the experts. So after that, I wrote a book. I developed a trading academy. I'm a hedge fund manager at the moment, managing other people's money. And as you can see, doing the trading academy. So the trading academy is based on my 5-step trading methods. You can find more information about this on the website. It basically comes down to have your own original idea. Don't copy other people. Know a little bit about the company or the currency that you trade. So you need to know a little bit about fundamentals. Know about the technicals in the sense of get your timing right. Try to find the trend. And then obviously the psychology of the whole thing. You know, don't drive yourself crazy when you lose a little bit of money. Trading takes place in the mind. And then the 5th step is risk management. No matter how good your idea is and how well underpinned by the fundamentals and technicals, you need to control your risk. So we have 2 products at the moment that are the key ones. First one is the $1 Million Traders course, which is online. And then we have the Trading Club, which is weekly or quarterly or monthly products, all on the website. But what I want to talk about today is really exciting because it's the first time that we have developed a product which gets very close to what I did in $1 Million Traders, which is taking people with minimal or no investment experience and help them manage money. And that's the hardest thing there is. So this is the $1 Million Traders live trading program. It's a 12-week program. It consists of everything I have ever produced and filmed and written about stocks, about commodities, about currencies. And the great thing is that we have now combined with Met Traders, who've been running a training program for professional traders for the last 10 plus years. These are people who started with very, very little experience. They go through the Met Traders training program and they're being taught methods that professionals use on a day-to-day basis. So Gandhi is going to explain exactly what that consists of. So we're combining the course as I have written. We're combining that with the Met Traders, and the Met Traders program is going to be adapted to follow up what I've done, and I will also be involved in it by mentoring people during that the last 8 weeks of the program. So maybe Gani can talk a little bit about Met Traders.
Hi everyone, I'm Gani. Before Met Traders, I studied for a PhD in astrophysics, and after that, I started at Met Traders. That was 9 years ago, and in 2011, I overtook the development and training of future traders. Met Traders itself, the company, has been formed it's got over 13 years of experience. It's been set up by some of the world's leading traders in the market at the time. We trade all products across fixed income, commodities, everything. We have our in-house strategy, which all the traders that come through our doors use. This is a professional strategy. This is a strategy that the professional traders use to make money. This is a complex risk management together with complicated hedging tools, all put together to make informed decisions.
So can people learn this in 8 weeks?
This course has been designed specifically to fit this in 8 weeks, and it fits in perfectly because so the first 4 weeks you do the online course with the videos. Week 5 to 8 at MetTraders, what we do there is we reinforce the theory you've already learned. We will take your fundamental analysis knowledge and technical analysis knowledge, which you have already developed, mix that with our own strategy that we have, putting it all together. That is what you will learn from week 5 to 8.
Okay, so let me so we're going to come back to that in a minute, just so people keep a clear head about what this actually is about. So we're going to start off with whatever I have, what I said, like the 5-step trading process. It's going to be involving stocks and currencies and commodities, and we're combining that with the MetTraders professional futures trading and hedging strategies. And you will be trading in the last 4 weeks on a fully simulated trading platform.
At this point, are there any questions from anybody, or would like to save things until towards the end? There will be opportunity in the last 20 to 30 minutes or so. We have one here from Mr. Buckner. Lex, will there be any television involvement for those people who have seen the series? No doubt.
The idea behind this is not to make it gimmicky or to make a TV program about it. It's really for those people who've watched the program who say, actually, you know what, this seems to be really interesting and I want to learn to trade as well. It's specifically meant for those, but it's not going to be filmed. We also felt like, you know, it's if you start doing that, then a lot of people who would potentially be interested wouldn't want to do that anymore.
Okay, and another quick one, which I think will be answered more clearly later on, and we'll like to get through explaining the course first, or the program, before going on to the cost of it. Is there a financial commitment to doing this? In terms of trading capital, no. In terms of the cost of the course, yes, there is a cost involved, which we'll be going through later. So thank you for the questions, guys. There are a few others, but let's crack on. We'll get through later on.
Okay, so the first 4 weeks is online. You go through the different online modules, again, about stocks, about currencies, about technicals, about commodities, and it's basically prepares you for the last 8 weeks. At the end of the 4 weeks, there will be a session with me, which at the same time is sort of an intake session before you start the last 8 weeks, and we'll all meet, or we can do it online, depends on the amount of people that are interested, but we'll find a way where you know, I'll make sure that the information that you've learned, that it's you know, you really understood it and you picked up on it. And also during those 4 weeks, any questions you have, you can call us or email us, and we'll you know, we'll help and we'll try to explain the material. So then we go to a little bit more detail about what that is, that 5-step trading process, and I've already discussed it a little bit before, and I've talked about it in different webinars, but those of you who haven't seen that, so in the first 4 weeks you will learn those 5 things: idea generation, fundamental technical analysis, trading psychology, and risk management. And idea generation means I want you to be able to have your own ideas. I don't want you to copy other people. I don't want you to trade on rumors. I want you to take advantage of the information that you have and build on that. You can do it top down, macro, looking at themes in the world, what's happening to the oil price, what's happening to China, that kind of thing, or bottom up, where you look at an individual company and say, actually, you know what, they have an interesting product, or there's something interesting happening, they're cheap. That's sort of more bottom up. So one thing we see here is like iron ore, quite interesting chart at the moment. If you've been following commodity prices, then actually the iron ore price is not doing as badly as, for example, copper. So maybe you say, well, actually, you know what, the whole world says China is slowing and the stock market there is finally starting to go down a little bit. And, you know, then you look at this chart and you say, well, actually, you know what, maybe there is another story building. You know, iron ore, almost 20% of the low, what's going on there. So that might give you an idea. Another one that we discussed in the last webinar a couple of months ago, Amazon, when we looked at that, we said, actually, you know what, the fundamentals look pretty good, and that was at 450. Now we're at 540. So we're 20% higher in a month, where the stock market is sort of totally running out of steam. Only a few stocks have taken over and continuing to push this, keep the market up, and Amazon is one of them. So it's interesting to look at Amazon, compare it to a company like Walmart. Walmart has probably like 10 to 15 times as many employees, but has the same market cap. So which company would you rather own? I don't know. But in the bottom-up analysis, you might actually be able to compare Amazon versus Walmart. And for those people that you do the course, you might come up with assignments like that if you feel it's beneficial to you, if that's something that interests you. So the idea of this whole course is that it's for you. It's not for me. It's to help you guys, not to help me. And then the second step of the 5-step training is fundamental analysis. You need to, when you trade the currency, you trade a country, so you need to have a feel for the country. If you trade the stock, you depend on the management of the stock, the products they have, the geography, the valuation, and the stock market overall. So you need to know a little bit about that. And here you see, for example, the Aussie dollar versus Chinese CPI. And you can see how they follow each other, and when they diverge, there might be an opportunity. So that's stuff you would look at in fundamental analysis. Then there's technical analysis, look at investor sentiment, look at timing of entry, look at exit levels and risk, and it's much more based on the price. Is it trending? Is it ranging? We did a very interesting webinar recently where we looked at the turtle traders. This is a trend following system, and compared that to moments where you'd rather do what is called turtle soup, where you fade the price action, where you fade the breakout, and where you go against the trend. And one of the things we look at here is Ichimoku, cloud-based theory. Some of you might really like it. Some of you might have no interest. Again, horses for courses, and we will use it and teach it where appropriate. And then there's trading psychology. Just had a very interesting meeting today with someone who has a number of traders sitting with him, and they kind of understand technicals and they kind of understand fundamentals, but he says the real issue is trading psychology. Having different traders in a room, everybody has a different opinion, but they still wanted to get to sort of one overall position that would suit their desk. And so how do you deal with that? How do you deal with different levels of experience, different characteristics? And that's something that interests me a lot. And in all our courses, all my courses, that gets talked about a lot. And again, we will do the same here. So here, if you talk about investor psychology, the Shanghai Composite is a very interesting one to look at. So these are the stocks in China. Obviously, in March, it broke out to a new high around 3,500. Then it rallied another 50%. So if you had been short and you had been leveraged, you would have been destroyed. And then it gave it all back. And now it's back to between 3,500 and 4,000. But if you look since January, so year to date, performance has been whatever 10, 15%. If you compare that to the FXI, which is the US ETF, which follows the top Chinese stocks, that ETF is actually down 5 or 10% on the year. So how do you actually? So this one is up 50%, the other one is down 10. So let's say there's a 25% divergence. So some people who played a bullish scenario in China would still have lost money. So Chinese stock went up, but the ETF, which is what most people trade, went down. So how do you make sure that you actually trade what you think you trade? And trading psychology is a key part of that. And then risk management, maybe the most important step, making sure that you never lose too much money when things go wrong. That you don't try to make up for it. That you make sure that, I've been doing this for 23 years. So hopefully in 12 years time, it will say, okay, he's now been doing it for 35 years. I mean, some people might say, well, he can't be that good a trader if he's still doing this after 35 years. Can't he sit on his boat? I sat on the boat last week for 4 days and I was really, really bored. So I think if I can say 35 years in 12 years, I'm pretty happy. So those are the first 4 weeks where we be completing the course as is. And then after that, if you go through that, after that, it's going to be actually really, really exciting, because then you start then we start looking at the classroom part with the guys at Met.
So for week 5 to 8, this is where we build upon what you've already learned in the first 4 weeks. We'll take your knowledge of fundamental analysis, your technical analysis. We will use that and really delve into the intricacies of everything and apply that together with our in-house trading strategies that we've been using, that all the senior traders, professional traders throughout the entire company use. So putting all this information together, fundamental, technical analysis, and our strategies all together, this is what you will learn from week 5 to 8. This is in a professional trading floor environment. This is not a fake floor created just for you. This is, you will be with the other senior traders.
And what's really important here, and that's why I like it so much, is that a lot of other places that offer training, they just try for you to have a view. You say like, okay, do you think the euro is going up or is it going down? And if you think it's going up, you should buy it. And I think maybe a bit about your leverage. But the way these guys think is not in terms of directional. So maybe you can talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you an example. Oil markets over the last year or so, everyone's familiar with oil markets falling from potentially $110 a barrel to what they are now, about $45 a barrel. People always ask me, so were you short? In fact, I was long, short, so many times in and out, or made money. Or, what we want volatility. It doesn't. People say to me, if something goes down in value, you must have lost money. It doesn't matter. Where we trade is we are hedged. We are completely hedged. That's our strategy. How you hedge products. It's how you go about actually. You may have a view that it's going up, we make money. You may have a view it's going down, we make money. Not just by a simple long or short. It's by actually having an intricate process of hedging throughout the entire curve. And I don't want to go on about this because you'll learn more about this on the course itself.
But at least you're building a skill. You're learning something that you wouldn't learn anywhere else.
You wouldn't learn this anywhere else. It's a course that's taught at MetTraders professionally. I mean, it's not something you would get at other companies just because of the nature of what it is. This course, it's not a 3-hour-a-day course. You'll be spending 10, 11 hours a day on the trading floor every single day from week 5 to 8, learning about this. So you'll be seeing the price action. That's the difference. You'll be seeing what's actually going on. This is not a pre-recorded market. This is the live market, and I will be talking to you about the actual trade ideas that we have and why we do certain things, what to look out for, and we will be putting on trades live, and you'll see what we're doing and how we're interpreting everything. That's your first from week 5 to 8. Then going on to the last month, week 9 to 12, everything you've learned from week 1 through to 8, all that information is now in your head, firmly in your head. It's no point you actually having theory and sitting an exam and getting a certificate. If you want to be a trader, you've got to actually put it into practice. Guess what? Week 9 to 12, you will be applying these strategies, what you've learned on the markets live. You'll be mentored by us. I will personally, on my computer screen, have every single trade that you do. And for every trade you do, I will ask you why you did it, what your thought process was, what your stop was, and what you were doing, everything about it. You will get supported throughout the entire time. You'll be there, mentored throughout the time. We'll be there to give you advice. If you say to me, what do I think is going to happen? I will say, this is what I think has happened, but it's for you to decide how you would trade that. Yeah, and you will say, okay, I want to buy this, and I'll ask you why. You'll get support throughout your time. We don't just look at entry and exit. We look at our trades all the time. So if I buy something, I'm not saying, okay, this is my buy, let me just put a fixed stop in. It's not a fixed stop. It's watching what happens at every stage. And that's what you will learn. It's completely engrossing. It's not just in and out. It's throughout the entire time.
Okay. So how's it going to work? We have 12 places available. The idea is to make it accessible for everybody. Having said that, trading is not for everybody. So, we want to speak to you on the phone before accepting you. We want to make sure that this is something that would make sense for you. And if you felt it didn't, then we would say, actually, you know what, this is just not going to work. But it's not, the idea is not to say, okay, you have to, be a graduate, or you need to have achieved this, or you need to have done that. I mean, the idea is to make it accessible for everybody. That is the idea behind it. And if it's suitable, then we say, yeah, give it a go. let's try it. We're going to start on the 1st of December. There will be, first you go through those 4 weeks, and then the first couple of months of 2016, it will be in class. So the price of the product is 9,999. You divide it by 1.5 and a bit, so you get probably to about 6 in sterling. So let's have a few questions, and at the same time we'll answer questions from the people who are attending. So how many places are available? 12 places, as I just said, and that's what it is.
These are frequently asked, believe it or not.
Yeah.
And we will go through your individual questions in a moment once we've got through these fairly bland ones. But just bear with us. We've got to do the duty, and then we can get through to some of these more exciting ones. So 12 places available. How does the live trading program differ to other courses out there? I think we spoke a bit about that earlier. I don't really feel it's necessary to elaborate and go into direct comparison. I think between Lex and Gani, they've done an excellent job of laying it out. Of course, if there are any specific questions, I can actually see one here from earlier, which we will go through now. So this one is from Robert, who asked earlier on, how does this compare to the course run by the other guy on the TV show?
I think the difference is that we're talking about, in this particular program, about a real trading floor in a company that is a very, very, very good company, where I personally know the people who own it and who work there every day, and I see the building full of people coming in early in the morning and working late and being profitable and still being there. And I see Gani, who's run the training program and has improved it over the years. And it's by the end of this, you have a skill. You could go to a trading firm and say, actually, you know what? I've been through this program. This is what I've learned. I'm looking for a job, and good chances that you would get it. Or you want to trade for yourself, and you've really built up a skill set. Like I said, it's not directional trading. It's not saying, well, okay, this is my view on the world. This is my view. I think China is slowing down. What's the best trade to do? That's not what you will be learning here. Here you will be learning trading arbitrage. And when you then combine that with what you've learned in the first 4 weeks, then I think you're really well set up. And I don't think anyone else comes close to offering anything like this.
Okay, so there's a couple of questions here as well, specifically from Ron and also from Mohan. And a couple of you earlier who ask, essentially, this is one of the FAQs, but is there the opportunity for a job or employment as a professional trader at the end?
From week 9 to 12, that month you spend trading live on the markets, we'll be supporting and mentoring throughout the entire time. And based on that performance, if you do well enough, yes, there is a job. There's a job for anyone who actually does well enough. And it's not limited to one per course. It actually is. If you're good enough, we'll take you.
They love to find
guys who make money.
Yeah, they love to find people who make money. And if you say, well, actually, no, you've done it and you're good at it, and this is not the kind of job you want. Obviously, I have many contacts. If you are a good trader, I don't think it's going to be impossible to find a job. But I think the main thing to focus on is not, oh, I want that job. Is building the skill set so you can actually do that job. I think that's much more important. And from our side, we run student events. We do mentoring to help you get a job, like how to interview. Lots of people, we've done big student events. Lots of people come in a room and they might be the best traders, but they sit opposite me and they have no social skills. Their handshake is weak. And then I think, okay, this guy might be a great trader, but do I think that he can actually deal with clients? Can he deal with other people in the office? So there's a million other things you will need to be able to do, except for the being able to trade. But this program is focusing on helping you become a good trader, helping you understand if you have trading skills. The rest will all come. So don't worry about the job. let's worry about this bit. But yes, at the end of it, there will be a chance of a job if you perform well.
Great. And I can see with the questions that are coming through, again, keep them coming. We are going to answer some of those with the FAQs, which are coming up. So let's do a couple more, and then a couple more of the FAQs, and then we'll take some more from this ever-growing list of your questions. So how much does the program cost? We've covered that on the slide. For those of you that may have missed it, it's around £6,000 sterling if you're working in pound terms. For those of you in the UK, we price the course in dollar terms, just given the international audience, which is at $9,999, so $10,000. This again answers a couple of your queries. For those of you that are listening in from various parts of the world who may not be able to travel to London for these particular dates or otherwise, I guess the question is, if I want to be a part of this, how can I do that? Are we planning to run programs in the future?
If there's a lot of people out there who want to do this in other places in the world, this can easily be replicated in other cities. So the answer to that is yes, it is possible.
But I think realistically, for the first one, that will be in London. If you physically can't be in the physical classroom, then it's obviously going to be pretty difficult. But the first month is very similar to our normal program. So you could do that, and you could say, okay, I'll start in December, and then maybe later in the year, during 2016, you do have time to come over. But the whole idea of this program is that you sit on a trading desk for 8 weeks, and that you properly learn to trade, and that is not something that can be replicated, somewhere else easily.
So just a couple of ones actually around the cost basis. Somebody did ask whether the pricing includes VAT in the UK. Yes, it does. All prices advertised are all in. So it includes local taxes and so on. Just a couple of demographic ones that are coming through as well. Is there an age limit or any sort of experiential requirements or prerequisites for people who are looking?
There isn't now.
Someone is 90 years old. Can they come?
They can. They can do it, definitely.
Yeah.
So there's no
never place for free.
Yeah. So I think there's no age.
Absolutely,
it
not.
really isn't.
Anyone who has the ability to sit there for 8 weeks and go through it, because it is actually physically quite intense to sit at a trading desk and follow the market. So that's not something that everybody can automatically do.
Would need to be 16, 18, I guess.
You need to be 18, I think.
Yeah.
Minimum. If you're 18, just because of the office environment, you're in a professional office, so you need to be 18.
Okay.
A, and B, you've got to have the drive and determination. So, it's not the age that holds you back. It's how much you want this, how much you really want to do this.
Okay. And so then, the question on the screen, can you pay in installments? Yes, you can, basically.
Yeah.
So if you're not selected for this one, can you reapply? I guess it depends on why. So if we say to you, well, actually, this is, having spoken to you, and you seem to be someone who just wants to make a lot of money very quickly, then we'd say we're probably not right for you. So there's no point in reapplying. But if it's just there's just too many people who want to do it and it's full, then we would automatically say, okay, go in the next one. And so how frequently we will be running this 4 times a year. So frequently enough.
Just one of the logistics ones as well, which actually isn't one of the FAQs that I'd anticipated. Around kind of lodging, or if people are traveling to London for the program, just to be clear, it doesn't include any sort of travel or personal
Gani,
costs
can they
and expenses.
stay with you at home?
I'm afraid they can't. But,
Really?
In the Met apartment.
So we will help people if they're looking for accommodation. We will help.
We will direct them.
We will not take you in our home unless you're really, really good trader. Then obviously you can have my bedroom. But in general, that wouldn't happen in the first 8 weeks. So yeah, please, we will help people if needed.
Sure, that's cool.
So when you have a full-time job, can I still take part? Answer to that is you will have to take a holiday. You will have to take time off. You can't do it in 2 weeks or your 3-week holiday that you have. So you have to ask for time off during those 8 weeks. The first 4 weeks, it's going to be flexible. You can do it while you have your full-time job. You could potentially take a little bit longer for that. We can work around that, but you have to be for 8 weeks on that floor to be able to finish this course and get the certificate that you will receive.
Cool. Okay, so let's just crack on through the last few, and then we still have plenty of time to go through many of your other questions. Let's just do this. I think we've gone through this now. Is the potential to be offered a job at the end of the program? It's a meritocracy. Trading companies want profitable traders. They're developing profitable traders. If you are a profitable trader, then you're going to be appealing to the trading company.
I mean, the other thing to say about this is that the amount of money that that people pay versus the effort that goes into this program. This is not a profitable program from our end. So if we can find traders, if met traders can find traders, that is the whole goal for them to do it. It's not to make a little bit of money for 8 weeks of training for that seat. That's a totally loss-making proposition. So they would love as many people as possible to end up with a job. So will you be given money to trade with? It is, during those first eight weeks, you're not employed. It's all simulated, but it's real markets. So the track record will be real. They will know if you did well or not. So during that period, it's not real money, but it is the same as real performance.
There's no reset button either, like you might have on a demo account with a broker, if any of you have opened one. So it's the closest thing to simulation possible before being backed, whether it's by yourself or somebody else. And the most important thing, which we might not have emphasized earlier around this, is that not only will the guys at Met be there to provide the feedback and mentoring and support and essentially scrutinize or critique each of your trades, each and every decision, but also there will be a final review by Lex in the final week, whereby he will take your trading record, look down at, provide his own feedback as well, and ultimately sign it off. And obviously you have the exposure then and the opportunity to really stand out, whether it's for hopefully the right reasons or maybe not areas for improvement. So that's another key thing, and that's amazing opportunity.
And again, like, it doesn't matter if you want a job in trading or if you're trading for yourself as a hobby or more than a hobby. The skill set that you will get here for the money you pay is extraordinary. I don't think that you can do any better with this money. So this will be a real investment, and it will definitely be worth it. So this one we talked about as well. Can you trade with your own money? You can, but do you really want to do that as well, or do you just want to focus on learning, finessing certain techniques? As soon as you put your own money on the line, it's always going to be a lot harder anyway. So when you start losing real money versus simulated money, it becomes a very different process, and it's better to keep it clean and to build your techniques as opposed to real money trading. So then, for those who want to do the $1 Million Traders course, not sure if they want to do that later, yes, you can, and then we will refund you whatever you paid later versus the course. So you can decide after. Obviously, if it's full, then you're gonna have to wait a couple of months before you can do it. But yes, you can. And then whatever questions are left.
Okay, so let's have a rattle through the one of the important ones, which I guess we haven't covered, is how do I apply?
How do you actually apply? So the best way to do it is to email us, info@lexvandam.com. like I said, it's a new program. We don't, we're not going out there to tens of thousands of people. We're trying to, keep it small, keep it select. Send us an email, say you're interested. We give you a call, talk about it, see if it's suitable, and if it is, then we welcome you pretty soon. And like I said, it's going to be there's going to be a lot of interaction with Gany, with James, myself. We just want to make sure that that we get this one right, and that it's that's going to be worth your time and your money.
Quite right. And ultimately, guys, this for those of you that have spoken with us in the past, the concept, of course, has been inspired by $1 Million Traders TV program and the format that Lexa conceived to ultimately produce effective, successful traders. The other reason for this has come about from your feedback and people asking us whether we do provide instruction either one-to-one or for a small group of the course and of the format of the curriculum on a personal basis, in person or on location. So this concept also caters to those needs, and there were a fair few of you who have asked about that in the past. And we've ultimately formed this partnership based on the many years of experience working together, Lex and Gany at Met, and based on really your needs. So we do listen to, or we like to think that we listen to what you're telling us, what you're asking for, and ultimately, as I say, this isn't something which we're looking to do in high volume and be doing all the time. We're trying to do it on a limited basis to serve a need that is there, which the course for the majority of people does serve in the current format, being the online program. Okay.
Any other questions?
Oh, there are tons here. So if we don't get through all of them, do email in. Everybody who's interested, please do email info@lexvandam.com, and I will personally pick up each and every inquiry there, and Lex and I will run through it together. And obviously, if there's anything in detail, Gany will also help.
Yeah. Someone asked, what is the support after the 12 weeks? There's literally hundreds of questions here, so it is quite difficult. What support after 12 weeks? It depends if it depends what you want. Like, we have a trading club which has weekly reports, which has monthly webinars, which has quarterly reports. So we do that. So if you're a club member, you can ask us questions anytime you like, and we'll answer them. So the support is there for members of the academy. So maybe you want to talk a little bit about the software that people use.
The desk setup that they have.
The desk setup, yeah. You've got 3 screens. You'll have an internet machine as well as 2 trading screens. The 2 trading screens, you will have live. It's what you call DMA, direct market access. This isn't a replicated market. This isn't. Some of you may be familiar with what's out there, like spread betting sites or certain things like MetaTraders. These are all platforms that are simulated markets. They're not the real market. What you will use at MetaTraders is exactly the same market that a trader in Goldman Sachs in New York is trading. So if you buy 500 contracts, you could be actually buying them from a trader who's sitting at a desk in New York. This is live markets. This is what all the traders around the world use. And the access you'll have is towards the leading exchanges. So you would use CME, which is Chicago Mercantile Exchange. You will use the New York Stock Exchange. You will use LIFE. LIFE is the London International Financial Futures Exchange, as it's known as ICE at the moment. And there's other exchanges as well. So we go through all the markets, even the London Metal Exchange, everything.
Okay. Someone said they sent an application by Twitter. How quickly can we accept? And
as soon as I get off this webinar.
It's quarter to 8 here in London. So maybe tonight, or you get, otherwise you get called tomorrow. We'll see how we go. Then let's just see what else are we here. James.
Okay, so we have one here from, let me just see, from Joseph, who asks, is there another option or another format for learning if you have a full-time job or you don't have the ability to be in London for that time period? yes is the answer, and it's always been available. And that's the $1 Million Traders course, which is the first month of this program anyway. So the idea behind that this program isn't to, so the live training program isn't to kind of dilute any of the faith that we have in the online course that we provide already, the $1 Million Traders course, which is currently available. The reason it's in the online format, first and foremost, is to make it accessible to as many people as possible. Technology age and the fact that reality of life means that people can't be, people contact us from all over the world, but they can't be in the same place at the same time, learning from the same person. So I would say to anybody who feels limited by geography or any other reasons, time constraints, have a look at the online, the $1 Million Traders course as it is currently, the online course. Have a look at that. You can always take that first and then look to get a place on the desk at a future date.
Okay, so then someone asks, do you look for people with trading mentality? I'm not sure what trading mentality really is. You know, if that means like buying low, selling high. I mean, obviously that's what we like to see. For people who like in and out, so quickly in and out, do we look for that mentality? Depends. You know, so it might work, might not work. But I think overall, what we're looking for, people prepared to learn and people who believe there's an added value in being taught the same stuff as the professionals, which also means that you will have to behave in a certain professional way to pick up that information, i.e., accepting that this has worked for these guys. And see how it can work for you. And that's the question. Another question about that is, okay, if everybody, that's a good question. If everybody, so you've done this for 10 years, similar strategy, so how can it still work? And if everybody does that, how can you still make money? Because some people make, some people lose. What's the rub that it works?
Good question. If this was like a strategy where algos can copy, then this strategy wouldn't work. The good thing about our strategy is you can't program it. There's a lot of human input in it. That's why it works. It is not as simple as if this happens, buy, if this happens, sell. It's intricate. It's a lot more intricate. It involves a lot of decision-making processes, and that's why it works. It stands a test of time. It's been worked for so many years. And the nature of the strategy, everyone that comes through our doors, it works. The reason it works, because there's so many strategies out there in the world. There's thousands, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of strategies. And ours is one amongst so many.
Okay, fair enough.
I guess the futures market is pretty liquid majority of the time.
The most liquid markets in the world are the futures markets.
Then the question is pair trading included? Well, we're not pair trading stocks here, so we don't. I talked about Amazon, Walmart. We're not, except for maybe in the first 4 weeks, we will talk about that and see of the benefits of that. But what you'll be learning here is more the professional way of doing it. And yes, you will be learning pair trading, but different pairs than the ones you might be used to.
So short-term versus long-term question, the never-ending debate. Does Lex only teach long-term trading? Are you guys only teaching short-term trading? What's your horizon? It's a happy medium.
Short-term trading, I mean, I'm not sure what the question's asking. I mean, you're asking if the trade that you got on last 2 days, 2 minutes.
There we go. It's all subjective, right?
Yeah, it all depends on the nature of your trade idea and what you're trying to generate out of it. I mean, if you see the value of the trade and you back it up with your decision making, saying you see it going to a certain price level, you can hold it for a little longer. It all depends on.
But I think what you'll be learning at MET is more shorter term versus what I usually teach. So they are able to, they have methods where you are able to scalp more, where you hedge more, where you see shorter term opportunities, where you take advantage of that, where you take a profit, like professional traders would do. They don't take directional risk. While my course will be more, okay, come up with an original idea, come up with find out about the fundamentals, what's the right technicals, etc. Be different, be more longer term. So the great thing about these 3 months will be that you have a really, really good overview of different techniques available, and that you can then decide for yourself what suits you most. So you can pick and choose at the end, and at the end you're going to be responsible for your own trading success. And I think this course will allow you to do that.
Ultimately, I would prefer to be in a trade for 20 seconds. That means I've made my money in 20 seconds. Certain trades that last longer just because you have to wait for them to go your way. So it all depends on your time horizon. But generally, as Lex said, our trading is more day trading strategies.
So then the question is when are the opening and closing dates? So the opening date is today. The closing date will be the first 12 people that we accept. That will be the closing date. And then we'll still be talking to you and talk about the next available time for that.
So just to make it absolutely clear in terms of the structure and the start dates of the program, the program will commence on the 1st of December. The first 4 weeks will be spent learning the $1 Million Traders methodology, so Lex's trading process online. So that means that you don't have to be on location for the first 4 weeks, which means that you're not sat on the trading desk at Met. You can do that from home or anywhere in the world, whether it's alongside current studies, work commitments, whatever it may be. So that's month 1, so the month of December. And then on location, where the first day you walk onto the trading floor will be the beginning of January. You will spend the month of January and also the month of February at Met Traders on location in London. So that's just to make it clear. Closing deadline for application, as Lex said, there isn't one as such. We will take the first 12 people and then close this round or this intake. But it is due to commence on the 1st of December.
Yeah, and obviously I have this question here from this person who says that if he studies over Christmas, he's going to end up in a divorce and have maybe more than 2 months available next year, but he doesn't really want that. Can he start earlier with the online part? And of course, if someone wants to start the online part a bit earlier, that's going to be okay. But the physical classroom has to be in Jan and Feb 2060. So can you apply if you're already a fund manager? Yes, of course you can. And obviously, you're going to learn very different things than you will have taught so far, because the process is going to be pretty unique. And it'd be great. It's great to have a diverse group of people, same as in $1 Million Traders. We had the cage fighter, we had the housewife, we had the engineer, we had the soldier, we had the student. Plenty of people, and it was pretty amazing to have a diverse group. And it's great if someone has a certain level of expertise, they can teach the others. And the same as, like, someone might be, like I always said, like someone might be a car salesman and know everything about the car industry, and maybe you can make some significant money with that information as well.
Okay, so I think that pretty much sums it up. We are approaching the end of the hour, which we'd allocated. So as ever, thank you very much for attending, and also for making this interactive. We like that. We like the questions. There are usually some fun ones in there as well, or some slightly amusing ones. We like that aspect as well. It keeps it interesting for us, keeps us on our toes.
Thanks, James. Thanks, Genny.
Thank you from me.
And thanks, all you guys.